Okay. So couple of house rules to be mentioned. So for online participants, please only unmute your mic when you are speaking and kindly switch on your video all the time to show support to all the speakers. Group photo will be taken during the break. Okay. And with that, I would like to pass the stage to our Mr. Presiding Officer, Nicholas, to present the opening speech. Nicholas, wait, is it me or others can't hear him also?
I can't hear.
I can't hear either.
Okay. Nicholas, we can't hear you.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Toastmaster Club meeting. I would like to acknowledge a few guests who actually came today, which is Linty. Can Linty please introduce yourself?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So my name is Lynn. I am a student at which is why I joined the chapter. So I'm not sure. I mean, I listened to your conversation. I'm not sure if all of you are students, but anyway, I'm really glad for the opportunity to be here and to see what the Toastmasters Club is all about. So thank you, Nicholas, for sharing the link. This is my first time being in any Toastmasters event, although I've heard of it. So I'm quite interested to see how you conduct the meetings and what actually happens in one of these sessions. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Linty, to our Toastmaster meeting, and we are very glad that you actually came to support us and also come and see what Toastmaster is really about. And is there any more guesses? Is there Jenny?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I would like to say that I'm from UMT and I'm here to listen for the meeting to see what is the Toastmaster about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, for joining Toastmaster Club. Okay, today the theme is is worth 1,000 words. And as you can see today, the word of the day is interface, which is a visual information, has a unique power to evoke emotions, convey stories, and communicate complex concepts in a concise and impactful manner. And I would also like to acknowledge some guests that actually came and helped us, which is Jin Wang as the General Evaluator. Is he here yet?
No, not yet.
No, okay. Then I would like to thanks Ryan Ng from Ta-Si Toastmaster Club as the Grammarian. Thank you, Ryan. Further, I would like to, with that, I hope you enjoy the next 2 hours in improving yourself and have fun. I would now call this meeting into order. Pass the stage to the Toastmaster of the evening, Zhi Jun.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Zhi Jun, the Toastmaster of the evening for the day. My role is to host today's meeting. First of all, I would like to thank Danish also to help us as temporary evaluating our meeting. Next, I would like to give a history lesson of Toastmaster International. Toastmaster International is formed by Dr. Ross Midley as his effort to train a man in speaking and conducting meetings. The first meeting was held in California, United States, and the organization has slowly expanded internationally. Here are the achievements of the Toastmaster International. Today, there are over 282,000 members in 147,000 Toastmaster Club over 144 countries. Here are the Toastmaster International core values, which is RISE, R-I-S-E, which is stand for respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Now I would like to introduce UMTMC history. UN Toastmaster Club is part of the Toastmaster International, and it has produced graduates with good public speaking, communication, and leadership skills. Approximately 2001 to 2003, MISA was promoting the aSAA professional course to the university and college. Along the effort by the MISA Council and committees, which is our distinguished Toastmaster Vincent Hall, he was asked to help in the objective and to promote the Toastmaster movement. There are approximately 4 years was spent in following up with the university officers throughout the tenures of 2 terms Vice Chancellor of University Malaya. However, the ICSA course did not materialize in but Vincent Hall's effort in pursuing to promote Toastmaster Club formation in crystallized when the Chitra was selected to spearhead the formation. Chitra then was led by Professor Marhaini, and Dr. Stephanie was nominated to commence the formation work. The Faculty of Language and Linguistics naturally was tasked for the inception of the Toastmaster International Club of University Malaya, with the charter members being majority from this faculty. And a demo meeting was hosted by Mid-Valley Toastmasters and MISA Toastmaster Club for the students to get to know the Toastmaster movement and its benefits. These 2 clubs are also our 2 sponsor clubs. When the application paper submitted to Toastmaster International, and on 18 April 2007, the TIKUM, Toastmaster International Club of University Malaya, was chartered. And the first meeting is in the Dewan Persidangan, Faculty of Language and Linguistics, in the year 2007. A year later, the club changed its name to University Malaya Toastmaster Club, which is known as UNTMC. At first, the club did not have its own club banner due to the lack of funds, whereby Vincent Ho, our founder of UNTMC, present the yellow club banner as a gift, which is last today. Here is our banner. Today's meeting will be classified into 3 parts, which are prepared speech, table topics, prepared speech, and evaluation. Table topics for the members and guests to present impromptu speeches. Later, everyone are welcome to give and challenge the table topics. For the prepared speech session, club members attend pathway projects and present to members and guests. While for the evaluation, speakers get constructive feedback by evaluators and technical role players. Now, I would like to introduce 4 role players who will help everyone to improve in this meeting. First, let's invite our grammarian, Toastmaster Ryan from Tasi Toastmaster Club, to introduce the role.
Go Ryan, let's go Ryan, go!
Hi everyone, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Ryan and I'm from Tasi. It's my greatest honor to be here and it's my first time being a UMTMC guest. So today as the grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And as the grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So for today, the word of the day is interface. And it's a verb. The meaning of it is a situation, way, or place where two things come together and affect each other. For the example, we need a clearer interface between management and the workforce. So each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give my grammarian report when I'm called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you for our English teacher, Toastmaster Ryan. Next, I will invite our art counter, Toastmaster Koon to introduce his role.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Zhi Jun. I'm the art counter of the days. As an art counter, it's my responsibility to take those words used as a crush or post fillers by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will also listen to those inappropriate interjections, such as and, well, but, so, you knows, and some filler words such as and repeated words such as I, this means. I will record those expressions and report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koon. Now, I would like to invite our timer, Toastmaster Jefri, to introduce his role.
Thank you, Zhi Jun. Hi, everyone. My name is Jefri, and I'm the timer. As timer, I will time the 2 minutes to speak on their topics. For formal speeches for tonight will be from 5 to 7 minutes. And the evaluation session for table topics evaluation, you have 5 to 6 minutes, while speech evaluators have 2 to 3 minutes. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red light, which denote specific times remaining. Thank you. Back to you, Zhi Jun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jefri. Lastly, I would like to invite our VIP of the meeting, our General Evaluator Toastmaster Jin Wang, Engaging Humor Level 5, which is also the H3 Area Director, to introduce his role.
Hi everyone, I'm Jin Wang, and as the General Evaluator for tonight's meeting, I will observe the whole meeting from the beginning until the end and note down what have been done and what have not been done. And at the end of the meeting, I'll provide my general evaluation report to highlight what is the things that you guys have done well and what can be further improved for the future meetings. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jin Wang. Now we should get into the table topic session, and I would like to pass the floor to our table topic master, Toastmaster Sing Eun, Presentation Mastery Level 3.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zhi Jun. Now is the time for table topic session. I'm the table topic master, Sing Eun. So today our theme is a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? So today our topics will be in the form of pictures. So for this, I will randomly pick from the pictures that I have chosen today. Any volunteers here? If no,
Maybe I can try.
oh, Jenny. Okay, the first one to volunteer for our table topic session. Welcome. So now I will give you a topic. Let me share my screen first. Okay, wait for a moment. So for table topic session, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, for table topic session, you are allowed to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. When 1 minute is up, the timer will show you the green screen. So when the time is up to 1 minute 30 seconds, you will be shown a yellow screen. And then at 2 minutes, you will be shown a red screen. That means you should try to wrap up your speech in 30 seconds. After you reach 2 minutes 30 seconds, the timer will blink the background screen from green to red, or maybe other kind of screen to show you that your time is up. Okay? So your picture is this. You may start now.
Based on the story, we have seen that the tree and the man, and this could be related with if we have achieved something, we must do some effort to achieve something. Like if the man didn't use the axe to cut the tree, then it will not get the gift or will not get the anything right like apple, because this one is from the apple tree. And because of the efforts, the man can obtain one thing. So in fact that if we want to achieve something, we have to be doing effort. Like we have to use the axe to cut down the tree, and by cutting down the tree, we can have harvest. We can obtain the harvest, which was the apple. And based on the pictures, we have seen that the tree gives the man red apple and green apple because of his effort, he managed to get something. So this value is tell us that if you want to achieve something, we have make any effort to achieve one thing. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Let's clap for our first volunteer because it's really hard to be the first one. Very good. I appreciate and admire your courage. So now the second speaker who would like to speak. You may raise your hand, or if you're too shy, you can use the chat box.
I want.
Okay, Ming Kang, our second volunteer. Okay, wait for me to click the next picture. Wait. Let me click the next picture. So this is your picture about 1996 and 2016. The floor is yours. You may start when you are ready.
Thank you, Sing-eun, for the difficult topic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been bumped into this table topic, such difficult topic for a long time already, especially it's in the photo. I'll try to explain what I experienced from this photo. 1996 versus 2016, so that's like 20 years apart. So the first one is the boy played football till too late and got caught by his mom to go into the room. But in 2016, the other way happened. Personally, I am none of them. First, I don't play games, unfortunately, because I used to not having Wi-Fi in my house. So I stopped playing games since then. I couldn't join the online games with my friends. And I basically didn't develop the habits of playing games after all. First photo, also, I'm not a very sporty person. I started playing sports like weekly basis in my secondary schools. So during that time, my mom didn't really care about me. I can go back home like at midnight and even not going back home until tomorrow morning. I would say all these photos didn't apply to me, and I think the people who might experience this are people who, when they were a kid, they have the privilege of playing this and playing that. And I didn't have that privilege of playing video games when I was small. It's not available to me. And not football, not available to me too, because I was staying at home. So, yep, I tell this story in a different way, such that if you are the parents in the future, you should let your kids to have freedoms to play whatever they want, because I didn't have that, and I didn't feel good to have no freedom in my childhood. But yes, we might be parents in the future, and we should at least give some freedoms to our kids to do what they want. Thank you.
Thank you, Meng, for such an insightful sharing. From Meng sharing just now, I can see that there's a whole different perspective when you are looking at these pictures. Not necessarily we compare these 2 years, but we can focus on the children's right, on the children's freedom to choose what they want to play, to respect them. Good point. So now the third volunteer, the third speaker.
All right, try.
Okay, Ikhtifar will be our third speaker. So your next picture is, okay, let me make it full screen. Okay, can you see it now? So this picture, there's actually a quote there so that you can have a better understanding of this picture. Happiness is a state of mind. The floor is yours.
Thank you, our table topic master. So tonight's table topic tonight's table topic is quite different, where it's all based on pictures. As you can see just now, Meng had a difficult picture, while I think my one is quite easy, which is happiness is a state of mind. This quote resonates with me quite often these days, because I was wondering that, is it important to get first every time? Or is it important to get the best speaker or the best evaluator or the best table topic every day or every week or every meeting? Actually, no. In Toastmasters, what we want is to improve ourselves, to better improve ourselves every day and every meeting through participating through the speeches and also having a go at table topics. That's the most important thing. Instead of just trying to win first and trying to be the best, why not we just relax and enjoy the journey? And also, at the same time, enjoy the scenery and also the view of our journey. In Toastmasters, there's not only having a pathway where we can speak, there's also have a leadership pathway that we can go through, which is very important for some of us. If let's say we are inspired to be a higher level leader in the future. So like I can see that a lot of leaders are inside the chat room today. Like say we have Meng, who's our area director, and also Zhi Jun, who is the first time president. So right, we should always keep in mind that happiness is just a state of mind. It can be your number 1 or number 3 or number 300, but as long as you enjoy and also improve yourself in the way, that's the most important thing to me. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ikhtifar. What a good sharing just now. So we know that happiness is a state of mind. It depends on how you see that situation. Even though you didn't get the first place, you can actually get happiness during the process. So now our fourth speaker will be Salah, because he volunteered in the chat box.
Okay.
So now I will click on the next picture. I hope this picture is an easy one. I'm not sure the next picture, what will it be? Okay, it's a turtle lying on the ground with its feet facing upwards, and he's thinking, oh my God, I'm flying. So this might be about how you think about your life. Maybe optimism, or maybe other things. This depend on how you perceive this picture. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. Am I audible to all?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's start.
Hello and good evening to all guest Toastmasters. Thank you so much for giving me the floor. This picture actually reflects the life of all those who feel any kind of failure in their lives. So whenever they should feel failure, they should think that failure can be their first step to success. Just like crocodile, it looks like he is dying after working hard, after going anything, but he is like dying. He is tired of life, but still, when he looks above to the sky, he feels like it feels like he is feeling that this is feeling that it is flying like. So whenever we should feel any kind of failure in the life, we should think that can be our first step to our success. Just I want to give you example of my own self. Once I was applying to a fellowship program to US. It was back in 2020, I think. Yeah, it was for 1 week, but I couldn't pass it. That was my failure. I thought it is my failure. But last year, when there was again a fellowship program in South Africa, it was by aSAA, aSAA, Association of Commonwealth Universities. But I did it. I was passed in this year, and now I actually visited that also. So that reflected that the first failure was actually the first step to my success. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for giving me a floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you for Salah's sharing. It is quite a good point that you made there just now. You mean that when you face failure, you can actually think it as a way for you to achieve success in future. So you need to think of it positively, not negatively. It is all about optimism. So now, timer, do we still have time for one more speaker?
Sure, we can have one more.
One more or two more, maybe? Just one more.
One more, yeah.
Okay, so this will be our last speaker. Let me see the chat box. Anyone volunteer?
Jin Wang say.
Jin Wang volunteered.
Yeah.
Oh, Jin Wang. Okay, Jin Wang will be our last volunteer, last speaker. Okay, now we'll click the next picture. So this picture is about two children. One child is struggling to climb up the stairs, but the other child is not struggling because he has stairs made out of money. Now the floor is yours, Jin Wang.
Good evening, everyone. I believe you guys have heard people saying that money is not everything, right? Anyone heard it?
Yes, I heard.
Yeah, I saw some noted your it. Yeah, although people do say that money is not everything, but we can't. I think we also can't really deny that money is not everything, as if we have the money, a lot of things will be easier. A lot of time people say that you just study hard, enter uni, get a good grades, then everything in your life will be smooth. Is that true? You try to see people from rich background and people from poor background. Only people from poor background, that kind of people, they have to start from zero. Maybe they don't have a car, they don't even have a house. The house they have is the rent one. So what they need to do is after they graduate, they have to start from zero. They can just find a job and fight very hard to get money and to establish everything. But you guys imagine those kind of people from rich family. After they graduate from uni, they can take maybe a few months or 1 year break, go to travel around the world to see what's happening in the world. And then they don't need to struggle so much. They either can consider working or they got the money, they can start their own business. So there will be a lot more choices for those from rich background compared to those with poor background. I believe none of us can deny this. But however, I believe no matter where is our starting point, as long as we fight for it, definitely we can get the thing we want. Back to you, the master.
Thank you, Jin Wang, our General Evaluator for today. I hope everyone enjoyed this fruitful session of table topics. So this will be the end of our table topic session. Back to you, Toastmasters of the evening.
Okay, I think I will launch the voting for the best table topic speakers. Okay, can everyone see it in Zoom? Okay, I see some votes coming in. Okay. Ooh. Wait, let me see. We might have a tie, so
Just vote for whoever you like.
oh yeah. Okay, vote.
It's a party.
Vote. How many? We have can I have 2 more votes? I think I won. Good. I think you won also.
Jefri.
Okay. I'll end the poll now. And we have a winner. Okay. Back to you. Who are TME?
Yeah, me. Okay, now is the time for us to take a break and chit-chatting or go to restroom.
You
But
want to
before
have a
that-
photo session first? Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
I will take 2 photo. One is formal and one is freestyle from you all before go for a break. So everyone, please feel free to open your camera and take a pose.
Jeffrey, you will take the picture or I take?
I'll take lah. Okay,
sure.
freestyle terus Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
And another one.
Okay,
pose.
wait. Let me. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone. Our meeting shall resume on 8:44.
And we should call this meeting to continue. I'll now pass it back to Zhi Jun.
All right, give me a minute. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, and bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, everyone. Now we should resume our meeting, and we are now in the project speech session. In this session, club members attend projects craft in Toastmaster Pathways program and present to us. Pathways Learning Experience is the educational program crafted by Toastmaster International to allow members develop 5 core competencies, which is public speaking, international communication, interpersonal communication, strategy leadership, management, and confidence. With the 11 specialized paths to choose from, like presentation mastery, effective coaching, engaging humor, members can achieve different goals based on what their goals in Toastmaster are. Today, we will witness a total of 3 members presenting their speeches. First of all, let us invite our first speaker, Syahmi. She's doing her level 1 evaluation and feedback first speech project. Now, I would like to invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Salah, to read out the purpose statement.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. So the purpose of this speech for Syahmi is the purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during the color meeting. The purpose of the second is the purpose of this speech for the member to present a speech and receive from the evaluator. Sorry, actually, I couldn't see complete. Sorry. But that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salah. Now, let's invite our first speaker for today, Toastmaster Syahmi, presenting You Are What You Think. You Are What You Think. Toastmaster Syahmi, the floor is yours.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Wait for a second. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and fellow Toastmaster and guests of tonight's meeting, Toastmaster Club. I believe that we are all here tonight, present in this meeting, because we share the same aspiration, a burning desire to communicate better. We are here because we understand the power of effective communication, both in our personal and our professional lives. Whether we want to deliver our speech in our workplace, sharing ideas in our class, or even we want to engage better with our friends or families. We are here to strive to improve our communication skill and also to become a better communicator. Not only that, we are more than that. We are all striving to become a better version of ourselves, whether it is excelling in our studies or in our career, or simply to live a fulfilling lives. But many times we find ourselves held back by a tiny creature in our head called ant, A-N-T, ant. And I believe it is not only one, so it is ants, a negative thought. The one that tells us we can't, we shouldn't, we will fail. So, how do we tackle these ants? These ants also represent self-doubt, hesitations, uncertainties. All these ants pulling ourselves from unleashing our full potential. And I believe that most of us in the Toastmaster Club, we have experienced this when we want to deliver our speech or while delivering a speech. It's like something pulling us. And this personal thought has made the speech for my today's theme. You are what you think. Oftentimes, we often underestimate the power of inner dialogues that shape our thought to become our self-belief and confidence. How do we tackle these ends and free ourselves from their grip? The first step is to become mindfulness. Mindfulness is becoming aware of the thoughts and feelings without judgment. We acknowledge them, but we don't define them as ourselves. Don't let it define you. Once we become mindful of our thought, then only we can replace them to a positive affirmation. Negative thought can sound like nobody wants to listen to you. You will stumble your words. You are not good enough. Your idea is nothing. And by training that, by practice, we can train our mind and brain. We can train our mind and dismiss the end. And we can learn to manage them and cultivate it with a more positive and empowering mindset. Instead of letting it discourage us, let's consciously affirm ourselves. I am good enough. My ideas are valuable. I am a confident speaker. I am a confident communicator. I am continuously improving, and that is enough. And as hesitant as I may feel, when I'm delivering speech now, being part of this Toastmaster Club is a tremendous source of encouragement. The source, the support, the constructive feedback from all the fellow members have inspired me to keep pushing my limits and become a good speaker. As we keep each other up, we create a formidable shield against those ends and unleashing our full potential. We make our confidence to blossom. And also we can communicate better. In conclusion, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am not standing here as a flawless speaker, but as someone who are on a continuous journey of growth. You are what you think. Is a profound reminder that our thought can shape our reality. So choose our reality wisely. Let's embrace mindfulness, positive affirmation, and unwavering support from this Toastmaster Club to conquer our fear and hesitation. Together, we can build a community where each of the members can thrive, grow, and shine on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Syahmi, and congratulations for you as a referee to step out yourself to be an inspiring speaker. And I believe, for me, I also believe that you are what you think. If you think yourself are good, then you should be a good person. If you believe that you are the best speaker and you work hard to practice to deliver a well-organized speech, then you sure will be the best speaker in the future or now. Next. Sorry, everyone, as it takes some time to load for the slides. Now, let us invite our second speaker, Toastmaster Meng, Effective Coaching Level 1. He is doing his Level 3 project using descriptive language. I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Joshua, Presentation Mastery Level 2, to read out the purpose statement.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. To you, Meng, the purpose of your project is for you to practice writing a speech with an emphasis on adding language to increase interest and impact. Back to you, Zhi Jun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joshua. Now, let us invite our second speaker, Toastmaster Meng, Effective Coaching Level 1, presenting his speech, Limits. Limits. Toastmaster Meng, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. I'd like to share the screen first and foremost. Hold on a sec. Okay. So where is the slide? Oh, okay. Good afternoon, dear guests and dear fellow Toastmasters. So my name is Meng, and for most of you guys who probably know me, I'm actually a postgraduate student in mathematics, and I actually wanted to join Toastmasters. Part of it is because I like to share what I learned in mathematics so far in the least technical way possible. And today it is my pleasure to share about one of the greatest achievements or creations in mathematics, which is known as limits. So what is a limit? But first, beforehand, I like to make a disclaimer. So this is basically a 7-minute speech on the technical material dedicated to general audience. So if you find mathematics a bit squeamish or uncomfortable, I can rest assured that this is a very entry level and easy to understand, digestible information throughout this speech. So of course, for those who are doing mathematics or statistics or anything related to mathematics, sorry to say that I have thrown away all the nitty-gritties, all the side remarks, all the notes, and all the boring stuff away. So just to get you guys entertained throughout this process. Now, so I'm going to start talking about limits by beginning on Zeno's paradox. So this is a very interesting paradox because it started in the 4th century BCE. And then those Greeks, they have a knack on doing a lot of philosophy back then. And one of their philosophy back then is basically like saying that they believe that whatever we do, you must somehow reach to the end point. They believe whatever you do, you must eventually reach there. And one of these paradox is basically trying to refute that premise, the old way of thinking, the old way of Greek philosophy, which is that every action has an end. So basically, this is where it started here. Suppose I wish to cross a bridge. So we start by, I want to cross a bridge. And we have to start with a very funny rules here. So first, the first step is that I will cover half of the distance of the bridge. Then later on, as for the second step, I will do the I will also cover the half of the remaining distance, and so on and so on. So basically, you just cover half, and the remaining half of the distance yet to be covered, you cover it half of it again, and so on and so on. So basically, the question is, am I able to cross the bridge successfully? So for those who believe you can cross the bridge successfully after a few steps or 1,000 steps or a trillion steps, you can press 1. If you think this is impossible, you may press 2. Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. How to check the numbers?
So far got 3 voted 1, 2% voted 2.
Okay, so those people who voted 2 are in fact correct. This is because it's impossible for me to completely cross the bridge after walking like 1,000 steps, 2,000 steps, and so on and so on. For those who didn't participate, this is just a practice. I'm not going to penalize you whatsoever. It's just to actually exercise your mind to think, how is this possible or impossible? So why this is not possible here? And that is because of this leftover here. How to click here? Oh dear. Sorry, it's been quite a while. Okay. So why it's not possible is because of this leftover thing here. So every time we walk, after we finish walking a few steps on this bridge with these funny rules attached, we have this leftover distance here. And no matter how far we walk, there's always that leftover thing here. The best way you can imagine this is that you have a cake. Everyone loves cake, right? So probably you think of cake. So someone say, I take half of the cake away. Then the other person say, okay, I have the remaining cake, I take half away. Then the third person say, I take another half away. So the remaining half away and take away and take away. You keep slicing the cake and that always has some crumbs behind. No matter how many times you do, you keep slicing the crumbs, there's always a leftover crumb. And that is essentially why it is impossible to cross the bridge. Or in the cake sense, well, there's still cake, a label. Crumbs is still cake. So we cannot ignore that. So this is a very interesting idea started from a Greek philosopher in the 4th century BCE. It states that there is some action, no matter how much you do, that it doesn't seem to have a definite ending. It doesn't end there. So later on, now I'm going to talk about a bit on the interesting part is this one. So how should we go from here? So of course, we are not just contemplating the philosophy of Greeks and what the Zeno and his fellow disciples are fighting each other with. So we want to do something more general here. That is what mathematics is all about. So we want to think about how we can go from here. So first thing first, what happens if we are allowed to repeat the action forever and forever? So now we're going to ask, if suppose we can just go on walking forever. I suppose I'm not age and I can go on forever. So are we able to reach the end of the bridge? So for this case, the answer is yes. So if you can walk forever and forever and there's no time limit, you can walk to the end of time itself, maybe you may reach the end of the bridge. Yeah, that is a fact. And the second one is that how are we sure about that? So this is another interesting thing about here is that why are you sure that we will reach the end of the bridge after we walk for infinitely many times? After all, it's good to ask this question. Our mind is quite a small pocket inside our skull. It's inside here, it's left here. It has a finite space, not big enough, but to understand something which is infinite number of steps, why are you so sure you can reach there? This is something I would like to address. I like to address here in tonight's presentation. So, and also, of course, this is one interesting example is that this is something very deceptive, is that if I walk on 1 mile walk for 1 mile in the first hour, half mile at the second hour, 1/3 a mile in the third hour, 1/4 of the mile in the 4th hour, and so on and so on. So essentially, I will walk like in total 1 plus half plus a third plus a quarter plus a fifth and a sixth and a seventh and so on. So how far have I walked if I keep doing this forever? Interesting side note here, this surprisingly deceptive question here, the answer is infinite. Basically, it has no, this one, it goes on walking forever. So means no matter how far you put the bridge, no matter how far it is, you can walk to the end of the universe and it's still, there's always a leftover. So this is basically one example where this is very deceptive. It may look that, well, you're walking maybe slower and slower as time goes by, but but the result is wildly different. Not only you can cross the bridge, in fact, you can walk to the end of the universe. This is how bizarre this happens. This is one interesting example here. So how are we going to do something about this kind of situation? We always start with something. In the idea of mathematics, we always like to change words into some tools. And one of the tools is called sequences. What is a sequences? Basically, sequences is just a string of numbers, something you can type or just write down on a piece of paper. But the fun catch about this sequence is that there is no ending here. So you can just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and goes on and goes on. I think this is a very nice one. So it's a very long string of numbers and governed with just numbers, just like that, just write down. Okay. Then as for the second one, we have 1 over 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 over 4, 1 over 5, and so on and so on. So it's 1 over 6, the next one, 1 over 7, the next one, 1 over 8, next one. You get the gist. So you can guess what is the 100 number in this. Spoiler is 1 over 100. So it can go on forever, and it works. It's just a string of numbers, just collection of numbers. That's all. And the last one, my favorite, is the alternating 1 and -1. It goes up and down, ups and down, up and down, up and down forever. So up 1, -1, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is called sequences. So it's just a string of numbers, nothing scary about, no addition, no subtraction, no division, no multiplication whatsoever. And of course, no logarithms. Everyone hates that. Next. So based on our previous example, we can make a sequence out of it. So we talk about Zeno paradox, and it's very interesting problem here. So we started with half. So after the first step, I walk half of it. After the second step, I walk 3/4 of the bridge, and so on and so on. I walk until we get a sequence that looks like this. So after the first step, I completed half of the bridge. After the second step, I completed 3/4 of the bridge. After the third step, we completed 7/8 of the bridge, and so on and so on. So you can see this thing seems like getting closer and closer to 1. Okay, but let's get the head of ourselves, because I will explain this later in the future slides. So now we are ready to talk about limits. So you have seen something very interesting here. Like I said just now, the sequence seems to be going to 1. You know, it's first is half, 3/4, 7/8, 16/32. You know, 31/32 it's just a number away from the whole. You know, from 32/32. So it's like it's getting closer to 1. It has that kind of feeling. But of course, we want to be concrete about our feelings. This is science, not psychology, or nothing to do with arts. So we need to make a concrete way to understand why we feel this way. So what to make sense limits is basically we will start by giving a very general definition of limits. So what is a limit? Limit is a value for which a sequence gets closer to it. So it gets closer to it as a sequence goes on forever. So we begin by looking at a very nice example, which is 1/1, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. So we can see here, I purposely convert to decimal places as everyone loves it. So it will start from 1, it goes down to 0.5, 0.333, 0.25, and 0.01, and so on and so on. It keeps going forever. So we look at this one. So we have these two values here. We want to compare the sequence of each numbers from 0 and 0.4 respectively. So how are we going to compare? So basically you just see how far is it from 0 and 0.4 respectively. So okay, let's start from the one we look at 0, distance from 0. So it starts out good 1. Then half is 0.5. So how far is 0.5 from 0? 0.5. Okay, that makes sense. Everything is exactly the same because 0 is 0. Anything minus 0, you get the same number itself. So it is getting closer to the number 0, right? It has a feeling, right? See, it's starting from 1, it gets closer, 0.5, 0.333, 0.25, and all the way to 0.001. Wow, it's getting very close. Okay, that's maybe it's a good guess, but let's go on a sec. The next one is 0.4. Okay, now we see 0.4, it starts up very small, 0.6, smaller than this. Okay, I think that's a very nice candidate here. Let's try 0.5. Okay, it goes down to 0.1. Wow, that is nice. It's getting very close, man. Good, good, good. Then 1/3. Wow, that's closer. Yes, good. But once it reaches 1/4, it goes up again. So it goes to 0.15. Then sooner as I go to 1/1000, it is actually going up. From 0.15, it goes up to 0.399. So the distance at first getting closer to 0.4, then it shoots up back again. So this is not a good one. So in fact, for those who know limits in their maths days or physics days or statistics days, they probably will say, yeah, of course 0 lah. I mean, you look at it, it's so obvious. But why is that obvious? That is where we want to talk about this here. So now I'm going to make a very nice conclusion on this. I believe 0 should be the limit. And to show that my belief is true, I started by making a definition of it. So I say, okay, so before that, we start with a little disclaimer is that not every sequence has a limit. So to say nothing in this world is perfect. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will go on growing forever. There's no ending. It goes forever. The end of the universe doesn't matter to them. They just go on forever. So we just focus on the sequence that has kind of like limits, and we have this special name for this is that special name of sequence. We call this as a converging sequence. Okay, so this kind of sequence we saw on the last slide is the converging one. It's getting very close. It's getting very close to 0. Very nice. And as well, the one we have shown in the last example, in this example here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is divergent. It's going far away. So that is a bad one. We just ignore the bad one. I hate that one. So let's talk about defining limits. So it's a bit worded here. So I'm going to explain how we're going to do this. So this is my first version of definition of limits. So we start by saying that, well, L is a limit of the sequence. If the distance between the limit, the number L, and the sequence is getting closer and closer to 0, approaching to 0 as n gets larger and larger. It essentially means if you take the 10 term of the sequence, you take the 10 number, the 1000 number, 1 million number, and so on, it's getting closer and closer. It's like it's going to have a clap. That is something we want. So the question is this a good definition? So is it good? Does it satisfy you? Do you feel convinced that this is the right way to say what a limit is? So for those who think it's convincing, 1, say 1, you can hit 1. For those who think it's not convincing, you may hit 2. So who's the Zoom master? Could you update me about the voting results?
All right, 1 person say 2, 2 persons say 1.
Okay, so that's a good one. So basically, it sounds very tempting to say it is true. In fact, I also find it true at first. Of course, I created it, so of course I think I'm true. But part of me say it's a bit not right. Why is not a good way to say this is a limit? It's because the word approaching here. So basically, I'm defining a limit using a limit. You get the point. I'm getting something called the inception argument, which means a limit within a limit. So the definition of apple is also an apple, and it goes on and on. This kind of argument is very counterproductive and is very useless, because I want to know what it is, and you're telling me the same thing. What is apple? Apple lah. What's that? Does it make sense? It's like a dream within a dream, inception argument. Or in a professional sense, we call this a circular argument. And circular argument does not fly in doing science because it doesn't make sense. What kind of argument should be circular? Because you go nowhere. It's like beating around the bush. Nobody likes that. So now we're going to do another revisiting. So recall what we saw before. Now I'm going to do a very interesting little experiment now. So of course I throw away the distance from 0.4. After all, everyone says, well, 0.4 is a bad candidate. Why would I want to keep it? So now we look at the distance from 0 here again, once again, and we are going to ask the sequence a question. We're going to ask this thing a question. Is the distance less than 0.3 and 0.05 respectively? Keep in mind that 0.3 and 0.05 is arbitrary. I just choose it for fun, just to prove my point. Okay, so just take note. So now we start with 1, we go down to 0.5, we start going to 0.333 and 0.25 and so on. What does this tell you about this distance here? Is it going down or going up or going nowhere? Come on. This one, 0.5, 0.333. Is it going up, going down, going nowhere?
Going down.
Going down.
Yeah, it's going down. Definitely going down, right? So this is something we can do. And we can use this property of the fact that it is going down eventually to see that, yes, a distance less than 0.3 applies for 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, 1/7, and so on and so on. You can see the yes is true for any numbers after 1.4, 1/4. Yeah, of course, distance less than 0.3 is true for any number, any sequence starting from 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, and so on and so on. Moreover, if I choose 0.05, maybe it started late a little bit, maybe it starts middle nowhere, like 1/500, something like that, 1/200, something like that, but it doesn't matter. So long as after this, you can see 1,000 sequence, you can see it's yes, and it goes on forever and forever. So you can see for 1/1000 and 1/10,000 and 1/ any number bigger than 10,000 is true to be this. Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, next. So now, what can we say about limits now? I'm going to throw away what we have done so far. Basically, I'm going to throw away what this inception style argument because it's completely pointless. So we're going to use this thing, distance less than 0.3. And the second part I'm going to use is that it is decreasing and it's true for everything bigger than that. Okay, now, next will be, we're going to change our definition and we're going to put everything together. So this is a bit interesting sequence. It's the same thing, and we will say that it must satisfy the following conditions. So remember what it means by convergence means it has the limit, it has the endpoint. So choose a value, and we choose a value and we say the value is epsilon. We just love Greek symbols for no reason. Okay, so we can say epsilon 0.8. You can choose any number you want, so long it's positive. 0.005, up to your imagination. 1/1 million, up to your imagination. You can choose whatever you want. Then this kind of sequence is converging. It must be guaranteed fact. So if I choose any number I want, it is a guaranteed fact. It's a guaranteed promise that we can find the end number in the sequence for which any numbers after that number means that maybe you say 1/10,000. Okay, then any sequence, any numbers after rate must satisfy this property, is that the distance is always less than, say, 0.8. That is how we define limits. And in fact, this is much better because there is no more inception. Yes, there is no limits in limits, that kind of thing. And it's so concrete because we can choose whatever epsilon I want, and it's a guaranteed fact. And we can have something that is stuck here. So basically, this is how the founders of modern calculus started to do this. I mean, not Einstein and Leibniz. I mean, those people who later built up the real analysis, Bolzano, Weierstrass, and Cauchy. So they created this definition here, which I just want to show, but I'm not asking you to do anything about it. This is the actual one. So this is how it looks like. In fact, it's basically a very short sentence. It said for each real number epsilon greater 0 that exists a natural n, such that for every natural number n greater or equal to n, we must have the distance less or equal to the epsilon. This is actual definition of the limit, and it's quite beautiful. In fact, back then when I was first year in maths, studying maths at Warwick, they asked me to sing a song out with. Everyone must sing a song like, for every epsilon greater than 0 that exists a capital N, such that for every little n bigger capital N, the distance between xn and x is less than epsilon. Okay, so basically that is called the final definition. And now, so of course, like any typical maths seminar or day of stuff, we always start with a very fun exercise. So we show, can you show why this equals to 1? Why the limit must be 1? Okay, so it's quite a fun exercise. You can show this limit equals to 1. And that concludes the talk for today. I hope you guys learn, I hope you guys enjoy a journey into the history of limits together. And thank you all for listening. Back to you, Toastmaster Evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meng, for sharing a wonderful maths lecture. Due to time constraint, I will just proceed to our last speaker, which is Toastmaster Samuel. He is presenting his level 1, writing a speech with purpose. I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Ikhtifar, to read out the purpose statement.
Thank you, Zhi Jun, for the introduction. So, Samuel, the purpose of the statement is, the purpose of the project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a well-defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Back to you, Zhi Jun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ikhtifar. At the same time, Toastmaster Ikhtifar also doing his level 1 evaluator speech project for his third pathway. I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Meng, presentation mastery level 4, to read out the purpose statement.
Hi everyone, to Ikhtifar. This project is for you to practice feedback and serve as a speech evaluator to deliver a constructive feedback on Samuel's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meng. Without further ado, let us invite Toastmaster Samuel with his speech title, Stress and Ways to Cope. Stress and Ways to Cope. Toastmaster Samuel, all the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zhi Jun. Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. So, I'll start. Thank you for the opportunity to share once again on my speech today. And good evening to all fellow friends and fellow Toastmasters and guests. Just 2 weeks, my name is Samuel, and I'm one of the postgraduate students here, and my previous background is in medicine. And just 2 weeks ago, I was at a cafeteria, and as I was ordering my food, suddenly there was a boom, a thud, and at the cafe. So the boom was that there was apparently a waiter that dropped at the floor, collapsed, and that was the thud. The boom sound was because the waiter had dropped what he was holding on the floor, and was from the audience, the cafe eatery people that was shocked at what just happened. Now, you tell me, being the only person with medical knowledge within the restaurant, how would you have responded? So, Friends,
Walk
it was
away.
stressful. So today, I would like to share with you about stress and how you can manage stress. So firstly, breathing. When you breathe, you find that there's actually more oxygen that gets into the brain. When you breathe, oxygen gets from the lungs, from the environment outside, travels into the lungs and gets carried to your brains. And hence, you can think clearer. Which brings me to my second point, that when you breathe, you've got more concentration better and your stress levels are reduced. As a science student, there's a study in China in 2017 which found that there is a 22% reduce in the cortisol level, which is a stress hormone. And also, there's a 15% improvement in concentration for the participants who did breathing exercises compared with those who did not do breathing exercises. Cortisol level is a type of stress hormone in your body that's released when you feel really stressed out. So, from this study, you can see that breathing technique really helps. So, how can one practice breathing? A simple way is to just look up YouTube and just type breathing techniques. And there are plenty of videos that you can choose from to suit your taste. Now, second point, other than breathing, you can do is to recognize the emotion. So just last week again, my tire punctured. I was so stressed out and I didn't know what to do. And then I decided to use an approach which is called the 5W1H. I believe most of you have heard. Why is this happening? Who? What? Where's the nearest help I can get? When? And how can I solve the problem? So what happened was, I realized I was really stressed that the tire was punctured. But when I applied the 5W1H, I found out that I wasn't just stressed because of the tire that was punctured, but instead, it was an appointment that was happening 1 hour later, which I was going to miss if I cannot get the tire fixed up. So with that, I managed to identify and recognize what was the source of my stress and feel less stress. One of the ways, other than using the 5W1H, is of course to write a diary. Diary helps to formulate your thoughts clearly, and with that you can identify even clearer when you're calm and writing down where is the source. My third point is, other than breathing and recognizing the emotion, is to ask for help. When you ask for help, first of all, you're able to get a different perspective of the problem that you're being faced with. Going back to the punctured tire solution, what happened was I decided to call for help, which was my dad. And so it went, Dad, my tire got punctured. Then he said, then I told him, can I drive the car to the mechanic? Because thankfully I was in uptown area, which means there's a lot of car mechanics there. But just the tire was really punctured. So if I was irrational, I felt I would just drive car there and spoil the tire. He told me, no, don't do that, because tire is really flat. You spoil the rims. Instead, go to the boot and check for a machine that will pump the tire up. And for me, it's like, God man, I drive this car 10 years already. How come I never even see this machine one? God, go and look. But true enough, I went to the back of the boot, and there was a pump that was hidden in a compartment which I need to open. So with that, you see that I found there was a different perspective to the solution, to the problem that I was facing. And other than that, when we share our problems with others, we can formulate our thoughts, and when we talk, we can get clearer what the problem they're facing, just like the tire problem. And as I conclude, stress, it seems like a very negative thing. That's why I'm sharing now 3 points on how we can cope with stress. But actually, stress can be a good thing. Going back to the incident about the man who collapsed at the cafeteria. Of course, I took the courage, I faced the stress, and went to ask the man. I said, "Sir, are you okay? I was stepping on him." And I was like, "Okay, never mind, I'll do my best." And thankfully, another doctor came from the outside, so I didn't need to do anything. But as I was going back after the incident, I reflected and I realized that that incident made me grow and to be more confident in facing something similar in the future, which is to handle someone who collapsed in the ground on the floor. Now, with that, I like to encourage everyone. Stress is just like a rock. Now, when a rock goes through a fire, it becomes a diamond. But too much of that fire becomes like ash. So, encourage everyone to know how to control that rock that you go into the fire without putting it too long in the fire, and try to aim to become a diamond. Thank you, everyone. And back to you, Toastmaster Zhi Jun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samuel, for sharing the ways to overcome your stress. I believe that everyone, or more or less, we have the stress. And from Toastmaster Samuel, we have learned there are 3 ways to reduce our stress. First is take a breath. Second is recognizing your emotion. And lastly, ask your help if you really need someone to get you from the stress. With now, we have ended our project speech session, and let us vote for the best speaker. You all can see?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think everyone have voted and I got the result already. So thank you, everyone. And now we comes to the third session, which is the evaluation session. With that, let us invite our general evaluator of the day, Area H3 Director, Toastmaster Jin Wang, to handle the evaluation session. Pass to you, Toastmaster Jin Wang.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, everyone. So now is the last session of the meeting, which is the evaluation session. I believe you all have familiar with Toastmaster meeting. So basically, evaluation session is for you guys, for all the speakers, and the table topic speakers to get their feedback from the evaluator and to together improve in the future. And for the evaluation session, we will be starting with the table topic evaluation first. So I would like to invite Effective Coaching Level 2 Toastmaster Kenneth to handle the table topic evaluation.
Okay, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can just a check. Can you see my slides clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if you can't see my slides clearly, you can spotlight me or you can pin me. Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Kenneth and I will be the evaluator in table topics. And remember, we glow in UMTMC. Okay, first is for Jenny. So Jenny, what you did well is you inculcate values within your speech. For example, you have explained the concept on how you exchange gratitude between the trees and men. There's like a two-way giveover, a two-way support, a two-way sharing between two different entities. And how you can challenge yourself is to end with a strong call to action to emphasize the key points. What is the moral value? What is the key message? The strong purpose of the story. Okay, bear in mind that the first icon is the strength and the second icon, it shapes like a challenge, right? Hence, it is a challenge. So Meng Kang, you have included a strong, purposeful call to action to advise future parents to assign the freedom to their child. What you can do well, what you can improve in your speech is you can improve your sentence structure. I know English is your second language, right? So you can try to stop the process of directly translating the Mandarin terms into English in your head while you are speaking. Don't worry. That's why in Malaysia we have this degree, teaching English as a second language to help those who speak other languages as their main language to speak English as their second language. And this is the main problem faced by the students. You can ask Sing-en, yep. And you have possessed a lack of confidence. It is because your eye movements are straying away, moving side by side. You're not looking at the camera. The next is Ikhtifar. So what you have done well is you have connected your points with real life scenarios. Whether it's in storytelling, it is public speaking, it is in teaching in the class, it is very important to always connect what we have said with real life application. You have mentioned about the club officer situation in your story. Okay, the point of improvement for you is you can cut straight into the topic directly at the beginning without mentioning the background of the table topic sections. I know your tactic. You are mentioning about other things just to buy some time, right? I know this. Okay, next is Salah. So Salah, you have shown a variety of hand gestures. This is what set you apart from other participants. I've read a book. This book mentioned that over 70% of what we communicate goes through our body language. Only 15% is through verbal language. Next time, you can try to ask rhetorical questions in the beginning. Ponder. Let the audience to ponder upon what are you going to talk about. For example, you're talking about a turtle. Maybe you can ask, oh, why do this turtle faces upwards in the beginning? Lastly, Toastmaster and our general evaluator, Jin Wang. What you have done well is we have maintained a constant eye contact between yourself and the screen, which possess confidence. Before you even started your speech, you took a short pause to rephrase everything inside your mind before you can utter the first word. As an improvement, you can try to relate the concepts about more money, that means higher education, more quality education. You can try to relate this topic with any experience you had, no matter it's your experience or it's others' experience. In conclusion, what I'm trying to convey is no matter what topic are you assigned, no matter what you speak, no matter what are you presenting, always remember to connect what you want with your personal experience or with daily life applications. With the personal experience you have, you can relate, resonate, and reflect better to create a world-class speech and stun everyone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, our table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Kenneth, for the evaluation. And now we would like to proceed to the prepared speech evaluation. And first, I would like to invite Presentation Mastery Level 5, Dynamic Leadership Level 5, Toastmaster Ikhtifar to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Samuel. Toastmaster Ikhtifar, over to you.
Thank you, GE, for the kind introduction. So early we heard about Samuel's speech about stress and how to cope it. What I like about his topic is he was very direct with his explanation of what is stress, what caused stress, and also how to overcome it by having breathing techniques, 5 wives and 1 husband, a diary, and also get a better, different perspective from others. To further increase or make Samuel's speech a higher point, I would like to suggest Samuel that number 1, to improve your camera angle, because I think your camera was on the table, so we can see your face from a down angle. So it wasn't not nice and also less professional. It's better for you to have a stand, or at least if you're with your friends, ask your friend to hold it for a while so that we can see your full face and also your hand gestures nicely, instead of like a downward angle, which is not very flattering. And also for your introduction, you tell us about what is stress, what causes stress, let's say cortisol and everything. With that, right, I would like to suggest that it's better for you to show a diagram, so that there's a diagram so that we can see that, okay, this cortisol, this cause stress and all that. And yeah, that's my suggestion for you. And also maybe like when you were saying about the breathing techniques, 5 wives and a husband, diary, and also get a perspective, you can show your hands. Let's say, for example, okay guys, I'm going to talk about stress. This is what stress is about, and this is how we are going to handle it. There's going to be 4 methods for me to share to you. Number 1, breathing technique, 5 wives and a husband, write diaries, and also to get a different perspective. And also, what can further improve your speech is to give more examples about how these 4 methods can really help you in handling stress. And also, I like that the conclusion, which is nice, and you ended with a quote, which was, rock, if I say get fire, it will be diamond, but too much fire, it will be ash. So to me is, for your speech, lesser talk, and more pictures, so that it can be painted 1,000 words and people can understand easily. Back to you, GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ikhtifar, for the evaluation to the speaker, Toastmaster Samuel. So now I would like to invite Effective Coaching Level 1 Toastmaster Salah to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Syahmi. Toastmaster Salah, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Overall, it was a well-structured, inspirational speech by Syahmi, which was full of distinctives, but I can present just few of these. First, her body language was outstanding during her speech. I noticed 3 important things in her body language. First, her facial expression was according to the sentences, according to the whole statements which she shared, such as whenever she talked about failure or the word A and T, her face was like illustrating the failure from her face. So it was first thing. Second, in her body language were her hand gestures. Whenever she talked about heart, she put the fingers or hand on heart. Whenever she talked about brain, she put the fingers here. So it was outstanding. Third, in body language was her camera setup. Camera setup in whole her speech was amazing. She was standing. I could see each and everything of her body language and movements. Second, distinctive in her speech was relating her speech with the journey of audience, because it was actually catching the attention of all audiences. Whenever she was talking about failure and expression and success, she was relating it with the Toastmasters. I mean, we, us, the audience. So it was eye-catching. It was catching the attention of all the audience. Thirdly, her conclusion was well structured. Such as she summarized all the speech first, and especially focusing on the topic of her speech. It is necessary because some of the audience, whenever we can be disruptive, we can't concentrate during whole the speech. But at the end of the speech, if you if you summarize the speech with the topic, it becomes useful for whole the audience. However, these were some of the distinctives, but there are some challenges she can work on. As we say that roses contain the thorns, so there are some challenges for her. Two of them I wanna share. The first was the tone and the vocality, the speed, the pace was not good. Actually, her whole speech was in one pace and one tone. So she should improve the tone. Whenever she wants to speak about failure, her tone should be should illustrate the desperation. So, and whenever she wants to talk about success, her tone should be a bit high. So that's how we describe the vocality and tone. Secondly, she can challenge herself on her eye contact. Her speech was balanced, but most of the time she was looking above. So actually, it disrupts the audience attention. So she should work on her eye contact as well. Overall, it was a wonderful speech, and she can cherish herself for this wonderful and successful speech with working on these two challenges. That's all from me. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salah, for the evaluation. And now I would like to invite Presentation Mastery Level 2 Toastmaster Joshua to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Meng. Toastmaster Joshua, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Meng, I think you should start writing a book called Mathematics for Dummies. Do you know why? Because your presentation slides was captivating. It does not have that much formulas, not much lengthy theories, but rather you present it with diagrams, short, simple notes, easy for those who don't like maths to understand and want to know more about the mathematics world. In fact, it's even better than any mathematics textbook I've read in my life. Secondly, I like the way how you explain to us again with simpler examples. Back in your explanation on the Zeno's paradox, you were giving an example of how when a person crosses a bridge and then you half the distance and half the distance again. But only someone who have a lot of time in his hand would do that, crossing a bridge and halving the time again and again. Instead, you provide us with an example which is easily rateable, which is the cake example, by cutting it half and then another half until there's always a leftover behind. Thirdly, what I like from your speech is you are very detailed in your explanation. You started off with the Zeno's paradox, moving on to the sequences, moving on to the examples in a sequence, and how you slowly come to a conclusion, thinking that 0 should be set as the limit in a sequence. You even included a maths song just to continue our interest in wanting to listen more in your speech, which I would say is a great way of using descriptive language and thus achieving the objective of your project. In terms of improvement, the first thing I'd like to see you improve on is on the time. I know there is a lot of content since it's a technical speech, and especially when it's mathematics, you need time to explain to us to easily digest the content. But perhaps if we choose the interesting ones and we string it together into a much more shorter sequence, but at the same time interesting for us to listen to. For example, no matter how many houses we make, we can't cross the bridge Hence, some action doesn't have a definite ending. But what if we are able to repeat an action forever? What if there is an end? How sure are we that we can cross the bridge? So from Zeno's paradox, you straight away move on to the slide of how we get together and then straight away move on to sequence. That will be much more faster and you use lesser time. And lastly, since this is a technical speech, it's good to summarize the points that you have given us. To me, I feel that a homework exercise can help me remember well a theory. If only there is a summary of what was taught towards the end of the speech, perhaps I can remember, oh, this is how I solve it. Oh, this is what I learned just now. It boosts and refreshes my memory so that when I look at the exercise, I can just close my eyes and do it with ease. As a conclusion for my evaluation, good job in creating an engaging presentation, detailed explanation, and good use of similes and metaphors. To improve on, you can improve on your timing and summarize for a technical speech. Overall, congratulations on completing your level 3 project using descriptive language. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joshua, for the wonderful evaluation. And according to the agenda, now should be the evaluation of Toastmaster Meng to Toastmaster Ikhtifar. But just now, Toastmaster Meng have informed me due to time constraint, he will evaluate Ikhtifar personally after the meeting. So now we will just proceed to the votes for the best evaluator. So can aSAA launch the poll? Okay, so the poll is launched. So everyone.
First of all, don't vote for the last.
Yeah, so now you guys please vote for the best evaluator, and as told, don't vote for the last. And Zoom Master, please signal me after everyone has voted, then we will proceed to the technical role player report.
Okay, the voting session is already end. I got a result and I saw someone vote for the last. I don't know why. Okay. Pass back to you, G.
Okay, then now we'll proceed to the technical role players report, and we shall start with the very first report, which is Grammarian Report by Toastmaster Ryan. Toastmaster Ryan, over to you.
Thank you to the GE. So I'll start my report by giving the report for the word of the day. To describe this, I know there's a meme like the sky, there's like a crow. So no one used the word of the day. And to the next session, it's good selection of words. I heard quite a few. So firstly, from Ikhtifar, instead of trying to win, why not just relax? From Syahmi, there is a burning desire to improve communication. You are what you think. I am constantly improving, and that is enough. From Meng, he used the word scrimmage, which is quite nice, I think. Our teacher told us to sing a song from the formula. And from Samuel, a rock that gone through the fire becomes a diamond, but too much fire, it becomes ash. And for the pronunciation, I could be wrong on this. Integrity, I think it is integrity. There's program, I think it's program. And there's audience, I think it's audience. And then for the grammatical errors, there is one things, I think it's one thing. People when they were kids, I think it's people when they were kids. Just 2 weeks, my name is Samuel. I think this is pretty Self-explanatory lah. I think it should be just I'm. Up and down, up and down, up and down. I think can be changed to up and down continuously. Repeat the act forever and forever. I think it's just repeat the act forever. In a cake sense, I'm not too sure on this. I think it's in the sense of a cake. Could be wrong. Negative thought can sound like. I think it's negative thought can sound like. And overall comment, I think everyone's English is quite good, so I didn't catch a lot. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ryan, for the Grammarian Report. And now I would like to proceed to the second report, which is aCounter Report by Toastmaster Koon.
Okay, thank you, G. Let's start with congratulations to a few of Toastmasters. First of all, Meng, Ryan, Jefri, Syahmi, Syahmi, and Joshua. They didn't have any post-fillers during their speech. Let's congratulate them. Secondly, that Nicholas has 1 and 2 Rs, total 3 post-fillers. And then Zhi Jun has 2 Rs, 2 repeated words, 2 total in 4s. While Jin Wang has 1 Rs, totals in 1. And then is Samuel. Samuel have 2 improper interjections and total 2 post-fillers. For Yumin, have 1 3 Rs for repeated words. So, I, it, will total in 6. And total post-fillers will be 10. For Kenneth, that's 1 total post-filler 1. For Ikhtifar, that's 1 repeated word 2 twice, total post-fillers 3 times. For Salah, 7 repeated words if, I, she, total in 6. And then improper interjections, you know, twice, total 15 in post-fillers. For Jenny, there's 4 repeated words, 4 3 likes, total in 7 post-fillers. That's all for my aCounter report. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koon for the aCounter report. And now I would like to invite Toastmaster Jefri for the timers report.
Thank you, GE. Let me share my screen. So here is my timers report for Jane as aSAA. She took around 45 seconds to call the meeting to order. Nicholas took 3 minutes in his president's opening address. Zhi Jun took 8 minutes 43 seconds. Jenny, our first table topic speaker, took 1 minute 35 seconds. Meng took 2 minutes 11 seconds. Ikhtifar took 1 minute 40 seconds. Salah took 2 minutes. And Jin Wang took 2 minutes 28 seconds. This means that for table topic session, there's no one spoke over time. And for project speeches, Syahmi took 6 minutes 46 seconds. Meng took 24 minutes 39 seconds. But it's okay, we basically got a free lecture. Samuel took 7 minutes 13 seconds. And so there's no overtime spent except for Meng, but it's okay. And for the evaluation session, Kenneth, our table topics evaluator, took 5 minutes 50 seconds. He didn't spend overtime. And for project speech evaluations, we have 2 who spoke overtime. Firstly, Salah, he took 3 minutes 44 seconds. He spent overtime by 14 seconds. Joshua took 3 minutes 33 seconds. Overspent the time by 13 seconds. Ikhtifar took 2 minutes 25 seconds. And Meng later, he will personally give the evaluation. And Ryan, for this one, he took around 1 minute. Koon took 1 minute 40 seconds, and I didn't time myself. For Jin Wang, later I will time, and then I will let him know the time he took for his report. Thank you. Back to you, Jin Wang.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jeffrey, for the timer report. And now I'll present the general evaluation report for the whole meeting. First of all, for the assistant sergeant at let me see. Toastmaster Jen. So I also here done well for the time control, as just now after the break time. The break time is 5 minutes and we shall resume at 8:44, and Jen really caused the meeting to resume exactly on 8:44. This is really a good job, as it can help to have the meeting on time. And if I would like to suggest one thing, I'm not sure whether Jen is the Zoom master or there's another Zoom master. Perhaps Zoom master can spotlight the speaker, or the evaluator when the person is speaking or presenting the report. Then this will help everyone to see the person, especially during just now the table topic evaluation. The table topic evaluator is having the slides as the background. And next, for the Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Zhi Jun, really a detailed introduction of Toastmasters Club to let everyone knows the detailed history of this club. And I also love what you do is you give a short conclusion after every prepared speech, which means you really apply your active listening skills throughout the prepared speech session. Really well done that. If I would like to suggest one thing for improvement is perhaps you can be more like active a bit to like warm up the atmosphere, so that I'm not sure whether I should use the word active or excited. I really have the bad choice of word to be used. I believe you guys know what I'm meaning. And for next is table topic master, Toastmaster Sing En. I really love what you do is that you use pictures as your table topic, and it really resonates with the theme for tonight's meeting. Really well done on that. And also encourage people to take up the table topics. If I would like to suggest something to improve in next time is perhaps you may provide a short conclusion after every table topic. Maybe just one or two highlights from the speaker's speech, or just give like your very little opinion after you listen to the speech. And another thing is you can write the list at the chat box there, like table topic speaker 1, 2, 3, and let people fill in their name. By doing this way, you also can see clearly which person have state his or her intention to join the table topics. And for our first evaluate, and for our table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Kenneth, I saw he already left the meeting. Just now, he really done so well as he used slides to present his table topic evaluation. And his table topic evaluation is so encouraging. I believe those who have tried table topic today will not hesitate to try table topic again in the future. And if I would like to provide some suggestion, is that perhaps in the future, the table topic evaluator can provide a general conclusion, either the general strength or general suggestion for improvement that he or she noticed for the table topic speakers, or perhaps just a few words of encouragement to the table topic speaker will do. And next is for the prepared speech evaluator. The first evaluator is Toastmaster Ikhtifar. I really observed that Toastmaster Ikhtifar really evaluate with all the examples given to the speaker. This is really a good thing, as the speaker only can learn how to apply the feedback if example is given. So Toastmaster Ikhtifar really have done a good job in this. And I also observed Toastmaster Ikhtifar have applied all the hand gestures throughout the evaluation. If I would like to provide some suggestions for improvement, first is for the eye contact. I realized Toastmaster Ikhtifar most of the time will be looking down to the notes. So perhaps next time, if you really have to rely on the notes, perhaps you may put your notes in front of the screen. Then you don't need to look down so much. You can just look down a bit, then you can see your notes already. And the second thing is perhaps you may put all the complement at the first part and then only go to the area of suggestion for improvement. Just now, how I observed from evaluation is that you give the complement first and then area of improvement and then complement again. So perhaps you may try to give all the complement, follow with area of improvement, and then you give a short conclusion to encourage the speaker and to conclude your evaluation. And the second evaluator is Toastmaster Salah. I really feel so amazing that you have a so nice camera position and you have applied so many hand gestures throughout your evaluation. Your camera position is nicely set that we can see all your hand gestures very clearly. And I also observe you have the eye contact by looking at a camera. And I believe the speaker can feel that you are looking at him and is evaluating him. And from your evaluation, I also observe you have used the sandwich method by stating all the things that the speaker done well, and then continue with all the area of improvement. And you also didn't forget to give a conclusion to conclude your evaluation and give some words of encouragement to the speaker. If I would like to suggest something for improvement is perhaps you may try to avoid using the word however during the evaluation. Just now I realized that your transition from the compliments to the area of improvement is the word however. So perhaps you may directly say, I would like to suggest a few things for you, or you may start with, to bring your speech to the next level, I would like to suggest this, and that. So by using this kind of transition, you can avoid using the word however inside your evaluation. Thus will not discourage the speaker. And for the last evaluator, Toastmaster Joshua, I also observed the sandwich method is used in the evaluation. Really well done on that. And the only thing I would like to suggest is same as Toastmaster Ikhtifar just now, to put your notes in front of your screen instead of often looking down to refer to your notes if you really have to rely a lot on your notes. Then I would like to go back to the speaker, Toastmaster Meng. Just now, for prepared speech, normally we will try to prepare our speech according to the time limit. So normally when we go over time, we also go over time by a few seconds, or maybe just went over time by 1 minute. So for your speech, I know there are a lot of things that you wish to tell us. So perhaps in the future, if you have so many things that you wish to tell, you may do it for a project in level 5, prepare to speak professionally. That project, you have 18 to 22 minutes to present your speech. There, I believe your content will suit more for that project, as it gives you more time to share all the things that you want to share to us. I know for your content today, it's quite hard to cut to 5 to 7 minutes. So perhaps you may try to present it for a project with longer time, then you can provide more and more info to us. And lastly is for the technical role players. For our grammarian Toastmaster Ryan, really a detailed grammar report provided to us. If I would like to suggest give some suggestion, the first thing is I observe that you are looking at your screen, so perhaps you are having your grammar report in your laptop. So perhaps what you may do is you may share screen so that we can see your grammar report as well. And another thing is you also mentioned that today, none of us use the word of the day. So to encourage people to use word of the day in the future meeting, perhaps what grammarian can do is to spam the word of the day in the meeting chat every 10 minutes. Or if you want to do every 5 minutes, also can. Then I believe when all the speakers keep seeing the word of the day, they will try to use it. And for the art counter Toastmaster Koon, I really love what you do is you congratulate all the speaker who did not use any speech structures toward the meeting today. And then you also provide a very detailed art counter report by stating which speech structures we use, and we used a total of how many speech structures. And the only thing I would like to suggest is still the same, to share your screen for us to see your art counter report more clearly. And last is for timer Toastmaster Jefri. You have shared your screen to allow us to see your timer report, and you also have the full timer reports jotting down the time used by the president opening address and also the TME instead of just the speaker and evaluator. Really well done that. And if I would like to suggest something is perhaps you may fill in the time over or underspent that column for every speaker, evaluator, and role players that have overspent their time. And for the general part, I really enjoyed today's meeting, and I observe you guys have really having some chatting during the break. This is really good as it helps to build the camaraderie in the meeting. And if I would like to suggest one thing is perhaps the agenda that you may set the timing, not only for the speaker and evaluator, but also for all the role players, so that as role player, we also know how much time do we have, and we should cut our part to fit the time frame. That's all for my general evaluation report. And now I will pass the floor back to Toastmaster Zhi Jun.
Hi everyone, it's me again. Now we will go into the most exciting session, which is the award ceremony. First and foremost, let me take a guess who will be the best debate topic speaker. Do you want to open your unmute your mic or do some drum roll?
Jefri.
Zhi Jun won.
Jeffrey,
Me, ah.
he say he's the best.
Unfortunately, it's Ikhtifar.
What? Unfortunately. Okay.
Wait, is Ikhtifar here?
Yeah, Ikhtifar is here.
Would you like to turn on your camera and take a photo?
Okay, I'll take the photo. Can someone pin? Okay, I think pin the file. Okay, in three,
Okay.
2, 1. Okay.
Thank you and congratulations. Next is the best project speaker. Who do you think is who speak very inspiring, very
Limits,
motivated?
numbers.
Actually, also quite good.
Limits. Okay.
Zeno paradox. Yeah.
Without further
Oh, you
ado,
remember?
okay. Without further ado, let's. Congratulations to Toastmaster Syahmi for the Best Speaker Award.
Hey, Syahmi here.
Congrats.
Okay, wait, let me pin. Syahmi, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And last, we go to the Best Evaluator. Who do you think who gave the most constructive evaluation speech?
Joshua.
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 That's Joshua.
Kenneth.
Joshua. Okay,
I hope Meng.
his contact is heated.
Okay, let us witness the Best Evaluator for today. Congratulations to Toastmaster Joshua.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Lastly, I would like to give the appreciation certificate to our VIP of the day, which is Toastmaster Jin Wang. For information, he is from Proactive Bilingual Toastmaster Club.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, I didn't change the club president.
Lord.
Okay. Thank you.
Why do
You want to change first?
Change first,
Okay,
can not?
okay.
Because
Change first. The date also wrong.
This is
The
void
date is
already.
also wrong.
This is void already.
Okay.
Change
Remember,
first. My
limit,
name,
limit.
my name unworthy already.
Area director, your name elevated.
You
Sorry
have to
for
have
mistake.
limits, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for the mistake. Give me 30 seconds to make it. Okay.
Loading,
Okay.
Okay.
Eh?
You didn't change.
Would you like to take a photo now and I will edit it later?
Okay. Sure. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, that's the end of the award session. And for those who win, congratulations for you all. And for those who didn't win, never mind, just have a good try. And I would like to pass the floor to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Nicholas, Presentation Mastery Level 1, to call the meeting adjourned and make some announcement.
Okay, thank you guys for attending our meeting today. Okay, is there any announcement that anyone would like to make before the meeting's adjourned? Okay, so if
Nicholas,
there's no,
you can
then
do
I will.
the announcements.
Huh?
You can do the announcements.
Okay, I'll do the announcements first then. So, today would be the last day of the discount of 15 USD. If not, you'll be paying 60 USD instead of 45 USD for Toastmaster renewal for the next term. Other than that, there's another one which is the club contest is going to be held in December, and if anyone that's interested to be a contestant, please you guys need to be level 2 before you get to become the contestant. And anyone who would like to become Go players, you guys can PM our president, Jin Wang. Okay. I believe that's all for our
Sorry,
announcement.
Nicholas. Sorry, I have to edit that part. Okay, guys, for speech contest, right? If you're going for international speech, you have to be level 2 at least. Then you can go for international speech contest. If you're going for the evaluation speech contest, it doesn't matter. Even that you haven't complete your level 1, you still can join the evaluation speech contest. It's open to everyone. All right. Sorry. Back to you, Nicholas.
Okay. Thank you, Ikhtifar. Other than that, thank you for everyone for joining, and see you again on our upcoming meeting. Anything, you can contact our Vice President of Education, and I shall call this meeting adjourned.